Guys, it's me, Eugene Smilez. First of all, thank you for everybody that's been supporting my channel, supporting my videos, sharing them, liking them, whatever. Thanks. This video is a serious video. If you've seen the title, you kind of know what it's about. This is a video that I wanted to do for a very long time. I kind of planned to do this maybe about a month or so ago, and I wasn't in the mood. Like, if I'm not in the mood to film, I don't film. But and this is it's a very touchy subject, but I wanted to do a video because I felt like it could help somebody else. So 2015, I lost my mother, and it was very traumatic, and I want to just go through that whole experience. So this was a Saturday. I did the Savage Race, and me and one of my friends did the Savage Race, and actually, let me go back. So Friday, I was at work, and I got off of work, and something said, call your mom. So I called my mom. We just talked. We talked about what was going on. I talked about doing the Savage Race on the next day, and that was pretty much, we talked maybe a couple hours all the way home, and that was it. The next day, I went to Dallas, Georgia to do the Savage Race. After I was done, my mom texted me. She was like, oh, did it rain on your head and all this other stuff? I sent her some pictures, her and my dad some pictures, and it was just a regular day. I went home, and I was like chilling with a friend of mine or whatever, and I was laying down. It was late. I was laying down. My dad called me. I missed the call. I listened to a voicemail. The voicemail was like, call me back. It's very important. It's about your mom. I can't remember the exact words, but it was something like that. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, what happened concerning my mom? Maybe about like a year or so before, my dad had called me, and my mom had to be rushed to the hospital because I think something was going on with her heart or something like that, but she was okay. So for him to call me again and it be so late, it was like, you know, what's going on? Called him back. Of course, I can't remember the exact words, but it was like, your mom died. And I was like, huh? Like, it's just not something you expect to hear. We always, I didn't want to get emotional, but we always think our parents are going to grow older and stuff like that with us. So when I heard that, I was like, huh? And he was like, I was in the living room, and I went to bed, and your mom wasn't moving, and I tried CPR, and I called 911, and you know, she's gone. And I was just like, what? And I remember starting to cry, like hysterically cry. And I think he said he called my sister already, or he called somebody. And my sister lives in Denver, and she happened to be in Alabama visiting her father. And I'm in Georgia. So she was like closer than she normally would have been, which is so weird. And I just remember, like, I ended up calling one of my friends, and they came back over, and I was just like crying. I remember I was like, fell asleep on the floor crying because I just couldn't believe it. It's like when something it was weird. It was like a dream, you know, something happened, and I'm losing my train of thought, but it was just weird. And I remember like crying, fell asleep on the floor crying, and I woke up the next day. And I'm trying to think, did I call my friend? I think I might have called my friend. I can't remember if I called them that morning or the night that it happened. But it just happened to be that a lot of my friends were able to come over. And I don't use the word friend lightly. So it was like friends were able to, I was lucky enough to have friends over the like less than 24 hours after it happened. Even one of my friends that lived in South Georgia just happened to be in town and stopped by, and like seeing him come in the room, I like hugged him and just started crying. And it was a surprise, and it was just a sad moment. He knew my mother. it's hard to talk about it, but it was a lot because when somebody is kind of ripped out of your life so quickly and unexpectedly, it doesn't seem real. And seeing my friends coming over, it made it more real. And then kind of talking with one of my friends, it just was like, this is serious. Like, this actually happened. And I didn't know how to really deal. Luckily, my friends drove me to Augusta where my parents lived. And my dad was at church when I arrived. And I walked in the house like the house was just quiet. But it wasn't real at that point because normally if I would go to Augusta on a Sunday, it would be a quiet house anyway because they would be at church or my mom would be at work. And my mom literally, she just passed away in the bedroom. And I remember walking by the bedroom and just looking in there, but I could not go in. It was just so eerie. My dad came home and we hugged, and I think we might have talked a little bit, but it still wasn't real yet. It really didn't get real until Monday when we had to start like planning a funeral. So I'm a performer. So I know how to put my feelings aside and get the job done, get business done. And that's kind of the mode that I got in. So Monday, yes, it was surreal, kind of making preparing a funeral and everything. But it was like I kind of got into business mode. So, and my mom's body had to be, shipped to Atlanta to do autopsies and everything. And we went and we talked with the funeral director about everything and stuff like that. And it was just pretty much business. It was like business throughout the week. My sister ended up driving from Alabama with her child and her boyfriend. And it was still very surreal. It still didn't really seem real. It still didn't really seem real. And then throughout the week, family started to come from Alabama and North Carolina and Virginia and everything. And it was just like, wow, like my mom is like really gone. One of the weirdest things was going to view the body. I was pretty much fine. I don't think I cried too much throughout the week, but going to view the body was hard. I remember we got to the funeral home. We walked through the front of the funeral home, and we're walking through. We're fine. It's me, my brother, my sister, my dad. My sister has my nephew. We're walking through, and I remember turning the corner and seeing the back of the casket. I completely fell. There happened to be a chair there. I completely fell into the chair and just started crying. Just seeing the back of the casket, I didn't see anything. I might have seen the top of her hair, but it was just I started crying, just I couldn't. I don't know. My sister, my dad kind of hugged me, and my dad went in there, and I seen him just kind of staring, just looking at my mom's body, and I don't know. It was. Sometime, I don't know how long I was in the chair, but I got up and I went around and looked at my mom in the casket and just was like, I don't know, it was weird because she didn't look like herself. She didn't even look like she was asleep. She just looked like a different person. And I have had plenty of family members die, and it's always weird to watch somebody in the casket just lifeless. Somebody that that's full of life and that you love, and they're not moving, they're not responding. Especially somebody that's super close to you. So, I was just looking at the body, and I wanted to touch my mom, but I couldn't. And I was just staring. I don't know. I was just staring at the body. And it was just, that's when it got real for me, to see somebody that you know has life and somebody that you know just laying there lifeless, not moving. That's when it got real. And I even remember a lady came in, didn't know who this lady was. She came in to see my mom in the casket, and she like immediately ran out. And I ran after her. I don't know why. Some people just like run after her. I ran after her and hugged her in the parking lot, and didn't know who this lady was. She was just crying. And she looked up at me. She was like, "Oh my God, you're Juanita's son." I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Thank you so much." She like, "I loved your mom so much." And I was more concerned with other people than I was concerned with like my own feelings. Just trying to console other people, and it was a lot. At one point during that same time, I went back in and started talking to my mom. I don't remember what I said, but I was like talking to her. And the minute I started talking to her, I started crying because, of course, you're not getting a response. Her eyes aren't opening. You just, it was a lot. It was a lot. To see her. Fast forward to the funeral. We had the limousines and all of that. I remember walking in hand in hand with my sister, and we sat down. I see my mom in the casket again, sat down, and I was fine until they closed the casket. That I remember kind of like yelling or screaming and crying when they closed the casket, because that was like, it made it real again. It's one thing to see somebody laying in this box that you love. It's another thing to see them close it. And that hit me hard. I'm the baby. I was my mom's baby. I'm still my mom's baby. And so I was on the program to speak. So I remember going up and getting ready to speak, and I felt myself getting ready to cry, and I kind of had to get back into like business mode. Like, I have to perform, I have to get this out, get this eulogy, whatever, out. I'm returning around, taking a deep breath, and boom, it was like action. So I thanked everybody. I just talked about my mom. At the time, I wasn't vegan, and everybody, for whatever reason, black families, they're always bringing fried chicken to the funeral. They bring fried chicken everywhere, but I was like, "Thanks for the chicken," whatever. Throwing little jokes about there, because one of the things that even my dad mentioned when he got up and spoke, my mom didn't want it to be a sad occasion. Yes, we would be sad because we loved her and she's gone, but she wanted to be a celebration. And that's what we kind of wanted to do. That's why we kind of made people laugh and all that stuff. So, and thank God a lot of my friends got to come and just be there for me, even the ones that never met my mom. So fast forward to after all of that, after the pomp and circumstance, and after everybody, because of course when you lose somebody, everybody's, "Oh, how are you?" And, "How are you doing?" Like, that whole week of the next week, and maybe even the week after, the whole 2 weeks, people are always checking on you. Then all of a sudden, everything goes silent. That's when it becomes real again. I keep saying that, but that's when it's just like you actually have time to think about it. And it's not something you get over. This happened in 2015. It's been about 4 years. So, it's not something that you can get over. And once all the checking in is gone and checking on you is gone, you have time to think. And you actually have time to mourn. I remember So my mom died in April. Like Mother's Day was that right after that. My mom's birthday was right after that. So it was like it kept hitting. Every holiday, every date that was significant to my mom kept hitting, kept hitting. I remember being at work on Mother's Day and going into the bathroom and crying. Like I had to go and like let it out. And one of the things I learned was mourn. Mourn. It's not gonna always you might not cry at the funeral, you might not cry, every birthday, but if you feel the need, any emotion, mourn, go and cry, go and yell, go and do whatever you have to do to get that emotion out. I went to the bathroom plenty of times crying. I've been at home crying, looking at pictures, crying, whatever. Talking to my mom. And I've had plenty of dreams when my mom came to me. My dad ended up. Hold on. So my sister. Let's talk about my sister's dream. My sister had a dream where the phone was ringing, and she answered the phone with my mom, and my mom called her Key. My sister's name is Roki. My mom called her Key, and she was like, Key. And my sister described my mom's voice that sounded like it was in the room. It didn't sound like it was on the phone. It sounded like it was in the room. She was like, Key, I can't come back. I tried. And when my sister told me that, I was like, wow, like, that is something my mom would have tried to do. Like, I can just see my mom trying to bargain with God, like, no, I can't leave them right now. Like, and for her to come to my sister's dream and say that it was so, I don't know, it was just surreal. And I've had a couple times, like, my parents were married, so my dad did start dating somebody later on, and I wasn't here for it, but it's not my life. So, and I've had times where my mom, I had a dream I was in the car with my mom, and she was like, you have to accept your dad's new wife. And I was just like, no. And she was like, yeah. Like, she told me that. And when my dad first told me that he was dating somebody else and he possibly wanted to marry them, that it hit me again. It was like my mom died all over again, because though my dad's not trying to replace her, it's like it's another woman kind of stepping in my mom's place as a wife. And it was hard, and it's still hard, and it sucks because a part of me is like, I would love to meet my dad's wife, but I'm just not ready. I'm not ready, and I'm not gonna force try to make a relationship, and I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where I can come off as rude and mess up anything that he has going on with her. I wouldn't do that to him. But as time goes on, it doesn't seem to really get better. I don't really think about it too much anymore. Because the first year is the hardest because you're going through holidays and birthdays and everything without that person calling you or without seeing that person. And even the second year is still dealing with it. And it's just, for me, it's something that I can probably never get over. 4 years later, I'm still crying about it. I can never get over. It does make me wish that I was able to kind of do more things for my mom. As an adult, outside of family reunions, I've only went on like one trip with my mom when we went to go see my sister when she was having her baby. And I wish I kind of could have done more for her, more with her, and I didn't. I wasn't able to. So I just want to say to anybody whose parents are still living, or any family member, but especially your parents, spend as much time as you can with them. If they celebrate holidays, visit them for holidays. If you can FaceTime them or video chat, do that. Get as much that you can out of that relationship while you still have the chance, because once they're gone, that's it. You can't bring them back. You can't really enjoy them like you used to be able to. And for those who have lost parents, mourn. If you feel like crying, cry. If you feel like talking to them, talk to them. They're listening. They're now guardian angels, or like they can see you and they can come to you in dreams, and just do that. Just mourn. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, but I do miss my mom. I wish I could see her and hug her again. But anytime that I feel the need, I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to mourn. I'm going to cry. I'm going to do whatever. But I definitely miss my mom, and hopefully this video can help you. I don't know. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. But I do want to end. I did design my mom's, what's this, program for the funeral. I like designed it and wrote everything up and put the like pictures and stuff in. But I'm going to read this poem that's on the back. It says, it's called I'm Free. Don't grieve for me, for now I'm free. I'm following the path God laid for me. I took his hand. When I heard him call, I turned my back and left it all. I could not stay another day to laugh, to love, to work, or play. Task left undone must stay that way. I found that place at the close of the day. If my parting has left a void, then fill it with remembered joy. A friendship shared, a laugh, a kiss. Oh yes, these things I too will miss. Be not burdened with time of sorrow. I wish you the sunshine of tomorrow. My life's been full. I savored much. Good friends, good times. A loved one's touch. Perhaps my time seems all too brief, but lengthen it now with undue grief. Lift up your heart and share with me. God wanted me, now he set me free. Thanks for listening. Hopefully this can help somebody, but shout out to my mom. I miss you, Mom. Bye.